you and have a seat. Moving on to roll call.
Okay, Ronald Knuff,
Present.
Kenneth Hall,
Present.
Bonnie Almond,
Here.
Trevor Stone,
Here.
Ronald Glassick,
Present.
Judith Haldeman,
Present.
Jason Donahue,
Present.
Mason Smolinek,
Present.
Julie Kutzler,
Present.
Mayor Anthony Pristash.
Present.
I need approval of the minutes of the public workshop meeting held on July 3rd, 2024, and the regular public meeting held on July 18th.
Make a
What is
motion.
it? Motion made by Mr. Hall. Second,
Second.
by Mr. Donahue. All those in favor?
Aye.
I forgot questions, okay. Any questions? Opposed? The ayes have it. Hearing of persons present. Step up to the microphone if you have any that would like to speak.
Good evening. Anthony S. Lopsonsky, Borough of Northampton. I have just a couple of things to have you think about. I'd like to address this specifically to the Newport representatives. The pathway, the trail, Norbath Trail, and the Heritage Trail going up, you got an influx of electric bikes. They don't go 5 miles an hour. They're zooming around. I'm not saying the problem is right now, but I'd rather address the problem before someone either has to go to the hospital or because getting hit by a bike that's going 30 miles an hour is not an enticing thing to have happen to someone. There are kids down there, children with parents, elderly people walking, there's people with their pets, they're enjoying it, and then here you have the road rags. So I think we need to think about that. There's one or two things that you can do, or several others. One, you can either restrict the use of e-bikes on the trail between 4 and 6 p.m. and 9 and 11 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Or, if it's an e-bike driven on the pathway, a licensed Pennsylvania driver or anyone from out of state that is licensed to drive it instead of children. Or you can ban it completely. I don't think you want to do that because I've noticed a lot of people on there with mobile wheelchairs and they're enjoying themselves. I can't see punishing them because of a few people that have the common sense of a housefly. So, you know, if you want to please take a look at that before we have a situation. Now, I did speak to the chief and he is not aware of any type of things that are happening, but this is beginning to percolate in other communities that I deal with. And I'd like us to be not at the front of the line, but real close to the front of the line in addressing this because it's a serious situation. Also, on Horwith Drive, the bridge going across the creek. At the south side, the seam between the road and the bridge, you get a boom, and you can see where the trucks coming out with glass, they leave their telltale marks. You can see the glass shreds all over the place that fall off of the truck because of the bouncing that is produced by the bump in the road. So maybe if, I think it's still a borough situation to address that and have that looked at and taken care of. I don't want to see anybody getting hurt, especially now in the season. You're going to start using that field out there. There's going to be a lot of people coming Saturdays and Sundays for youth events. I would hate like prunes to see a kid run across that street and slide on glass. So, you know, it's a safety situation. I don't know who maintains the bridge, if it's the borough or if it's Horwath or whoever has it.
That's our bridge.
Okay, then, yeah, it's on the south side.
Yeah, we were just discussing that this morning, and we are taking steps to correct it.
Thank you, thank you. Also, too, we have a lot of branches and trees that are beginning to try to get a better look at the traffic, leaning over out into the street, across the bridge, and also on Atlas Road there, going into the machine shop. The branches come down, people have to kind of move over. If they don't, well, they're gonna either hit the branches or hit the next car. So maybe if they can go out and have them pruned down, that would be nice. So, there was something else that I can't recall, but I yield back the balance of my time to the chair.
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead, please. Your name, please.
Good evening, my name is Gail Rigolo Namus.
Dale what?
Gail Rigolo Namus.
Spell your name.
Namous.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have written, the council, I'm requesting, for a one-way sign put up between Main Street and Franklin, going from east to west. I listed in my letter all the reasons why. I did speak to Mayor Pistache back March, April, and I haven't heard anything, I don't know, so I thought I'd make my presence known and hopefully get some kind of results here.
Ma'am,
Do
we
you
have
want
that
me
on
to
the
go
agenda.
over my reasons?
That
or-
is on the agenda for tonight.
Okay, so,
That's all.
okay.
Ms. Waller.
I'm just here for moral support, she made me go. Hello, everyone. I'm Yvette LeBron, and I just moved into the beautiful state of Pennsylvania. This is my husband.
Oh,
Jose.
okay, thank you.
I finally made it. I teach in New York City, and I come up on the weekends and have a year to retire, thank God. So the reason why I'm here is because as newcomers to Pennsylvania, we build a home with K Builders. We've had lots and lots of struggles with them. My husband is disabled, he's partially paralyzed, and I've been in constant communication with the builders. Because of his disability, we've had a driveway that slopes down, and I have a gazillion corresponding emails back and forth with them in retrospect of their sinking driveway. I'm having lots of issues with them. I have erosion in my house. They came and they patched the driveway. It looks like, when you're driving on a highway and they just put a patch on the ground. Getting in and out of my garage, there is a big step, literally to get my car on the driveway. There's a lot going on with these builders. They choose to ignore. I have erosion on the side of my house. There's so much going on with these builders, I don't know what to do. I feel this small and I have a big bully, just not responding to me. I don't know what to do. I've been in contact, thank God I have neighbors that are trying to give me some type of support, and all I do is email them. And this is where I'm at. I don't know. I came here to express some
Thank
kind
you.
of
Mr. Glassick
Have you
is the
retained an
councilman.
attorney yet?
So I retained an attorney,
Okay.
and he basically was telling me I have to go to the county with it. and
She had to do some paperwork.
I'm not an
He
attorney,
wasn't
so I wouldn't
very-
know.
He
But I
wasn't
mean,
very supportive.
let me
I
pick a
still-
different attorney.
Yeah,
I mean, you need somebody that should be writing a letter to K Builders and send you a copy of that letter, informing them that it doesn't meet the standards of safety, especially in a situation with your husband being handicapped. But I mean, the borough can't be, I don't wanna use the word policing, and we can help, and definitely wanna make sure that you're welcome to our borough, and we're trying to support you, but we can't get involved in a litigation,
course.
cause it's still under the builders,
The civil, right.
so.
What is your address?
It's 309 Kings Barnes Lane in Northampton.
3092.
309 Kings,
309, you said?
Kings Barnes Lane.
Yep.
Thank you.
King's what?
Kings Barnes.
Kings Barnes Lane.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll
And
do
you
what
know,
we can.
If I may, I just, one more question, who was the solicitor that you reached out to?
Dave Faulkner,
It for,
Mickey Lane,
and
and
right-
Greg Cox.
and Mickey,
Were they out of, were they locally?
what, do you mean the builders?
Like,
The emails?
The
No,
attorney.
the solicitor, where are they from?
What was he from Allentown? What was his name? Oh, the lawyer that we solicited.
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay.
Leroy, do we know where they're at in the plans? I know it's on their terms, but have you got requests for them to start turning the roads over for the punch list
No,
and that kind
not
of stuff?
yet, not yet.
So you would get that in advance, so you haven't even
Yeah,
seen that?
right now, everything that's there is still under the control of the developer and the builder. Once they consider the project done, they would prepare a deed of dedication dedicating the streets, the sanitary sewer, and the storm sewer to the borough of Northampton. Right now, we don't, that is not our property. But this is something that I know Wally, if I may, has been here on several occasions and expressed concerns about some things that are happening there. And we have had our engineer down there, we had our, the zoning officer down there. It's not something that we're ignoring, but we are limited in what we can do. And what Mr. Glassick said was probably the best solution. Have your attorney contact them and with a list, a complete list of all your concerns, and see how they respond to that.
Yeah, I have some neighbors that also contact them through their attorneys. They just choose to ignore the emails, and so there's struggle over there. Lots of
Maybe you should
struggle.
all get together and get one attorney to support all of you and invest yourself as a group and take it on.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck with that.
Thanks.
Anyone else?
Madam President, sitting down, I remembered my third thing that I had. Would I be able to express?
Of course not. Okay, yes, sure.
Who is this?
Before I forget, till I get
I
there.
know.
Second time, Anthony S. Olsonski, Borough of Northampton, regarding the apartments at the brewery in Newport. I really am at a conflict. I believe the number of units that they have to be placed in there, to me, is beyond sane. 70 units in that building, one room, one person kind of thing, is entirely too much. I think between 35 and 50 should have been the maximum number allowed. But to get 70 into that place, now you're gonna have a traffic situation where you're gonna have people parking on an island. And it's gonna create a real big problem, especially for those people that go to church on Sunday. There's 3 churches that are right there that have services, and that is gonna create a problem should somebody decide to have a party and come out. Then pretty soon, as they all start out, you can look at the Catholic war vets. It was gonna be controlled, taken care of, none of this, none of that. And what has it become 5 and 6 years later? A party hole. You got people driving on a sidewalk, you got people parking on a sidewalk, you have activity till 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, and of course, they're very quiet when they talk to their friends, because I believe that's what happens when there's a volume of alcohol that's mixed in. So this has the potential to be a very big albatross. I am not satisfied with it, and I am speaking to all of my neighbors that they should come and express their concerns about that party place. Because if you look in the history of the developer that is putting that on, you're gonna see a 5 and a 6 year, whoa.
You know, Mr. Lipsonsky, the place to go was planning. And,
I asked to be notified when it was, yeah,
yeah, planning is where it starts.
yep. And when the
And you
meeting
also
was,
know
and I
that once it
understand
gets
with
to
the,
us, we don't have much choice, because
yeah,
you've been here.
with,
But, yeah, I understand your concern.
Mr. Ostrowski, I went to the zoning meeting and expressed my concern about that, the whole thing.
very good, very good, I
I was
appreciate
shot
that.
down,
Well,
unfortunately.
I should not say things that I think because people don't understand why, but I do, all right? But I think we need to keep an eye on that because it does look like it's going to become something that it's not
Mhm.
when it's complete.
Thank
Thank you
you,
for your
sir.
consideration.
Anyone else? Under President's report, I have nothing. Under Mayor's report,
Good evening, everyone. One of our momentous meetings, which I'm sure we will get into discussions later, of Mr. Leroy Brobst and his fine career here at the Borough, but I'm looking forward to hearing all the comments on that later on in the day. Well-deserved, and a career in this borough which is unparalleled through the years. As for myself, now that the Hometown Heroes banner project on the street is tucked away for now, and Mason Smolanak and the crew are ready to get back into action at the volunteers at the high school this fall. I was looking at my next initiative for the mayor's office, and what I'm looking at now is historical murals on many of our buildings in town. Let me first say that this is not going to be a burden to the taxpayers or to council as far as anything coming out. I have found 4 fantastic funding sources for this, and I have 5 business owners who have buildings in this town who agree in principle to this and are looking forward to moving this ahead. Councilor Brobst has kindly helped me to meet the art director at the high school, which, much like the activities for the Hometown Heroes, I'd like to use the art class and the art club at Northampton High School to come up with these murals and ideas for them. So I have many instances of places across the state and through my travels who have done this. The funding sources are outstanding, from arts and sciences to county funds for projects like this to beautify a town. So this is just a genesis of this idea. As I said, I have 5 business people already in the last few days who are in on this project, and I will keep you posted as we go along for this initiative. So that's all I have right now. Thank you very much.
thank you, Mr. Mayor. Solicitor's report.
Yes, thank you. And I apologize, I'm under the weather tonight and have to participate remotely. I just wanted to speak to the comment regarding e-bikes and advise that I will be happy to provide some legal research in that regard to council before the next meeting. And that is the end of my report, unless anybody has any questions for me.
I do.
Mr. Glassick does.
On the peace and
Mr.
order,
Black.
on the ordinance of the peace and order, of good order, I should say, you ask us to review these ordinance. I have some notes on it. Is that something we should take offline and talk individually? Would you prefer that?
The ordinances for adoption
Yes. Or
this
the
evening?
the correction that I thought you were asking us for review of your ordinances of peace and good order is what it says.
You had prepared a draft and
Right.
it's not on the agenda.
Right, yes, the materials that I provided at the last meeting were a draft that I actually did not prepare. It was quite an old draft that had been prepared by my office a couple of years ago, I guess, when council was looking at this issue. regarding peace and good order, and I also included in your packet all of the current ordinances that are addressed to those issues. So perhaps that is something that we could take offline to discuss individually.
I will
And that might
reach,
be the most productive rather than trying to do it in a remote setting,
sure, I will reach out to
given
you.
my absence.
I will reach out to you, Solicitor.
Excellent, thank you.
Anyone else, anything else for the solicitor?
I have some notes as well on that, so maybe we can do a
Yeah.
joint call or something.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Great, thank you.
Moving on to reports from committees, we'll start with Administration and Finance. Mr. Ken Hall.
Thank you. Mr. Bainey reports that recently they had visitors from Hungary to visit the Atlas Museum, Cement Museum. They were happy to see how Hungarian workers were honored. They also gave a $100 donation to the museum. The borough is notified for the need to update the emergency management plan. Unless the plan is updated, the borough will be ineligible for some state and federal funding. There were 114 live stream views of the August 1st council meeting. End of report.
Mr. Hall, can you make a comment on paragraph 2, please, about your thoughts on this emergency management plan? What do you plan to do this week?
We're digging in. I get the paperwork from them. It's a long, tedious, but we're get everything that they need. I gotta go to publication, stuff has to come back to council and everything, so it isn't a week thing, but it's
So we
in
could-
order.
Probably have it by the first week of September.
The issue, probably the thing itself, and then it has to go through their channels and stuff, what they have to do back and forth and whatever. So in that time frame, I don't know 100%, but yeah, we'll shoot for it.
We'll shoot for the first week of September. Okay, that sounds really good. Thank you. Building, Land, and Recreation, Ms. Haldeman.
Thank you. The last day for the pool is Saturday, August 17th, 2024. Thank you to the staff for another wonderful season. Public Works Supervisor Rich Ackerman received a quote of $5,702 to fix the broken piece of playground equipment at Municipal Park. I want to take out the word broken and put in the word vandalized and speak to that a little later, but.
Call it what you want, it needs to get fixed.
It needs to be fixed. Mr. Bropes, Bryan Welsko, and representatives of the Building, Land, and Recreation Committee did meet with representatives from the Cindy Miles Adaptive Fund on yesterday, on Wednesday, August 14th, regarding plans for playground equipment and upgrade at Forestry Park. And again, I'll speak to that a little bit later. And we have contacted Reliable Recycling Services about establishing an electronic recycling event. They have November 23rd, 2024, and many dates in spring of 2025 available. The cost is $1,690 for 2 trucks. Residents would be charged per item to be recycled. End of my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Code and Police, Mr. Stone.
Yes, thank you. We received a report from the zoning office with permits and inspections for July. We also received a code enforcement status report. There were a total of 36 incidents. 22 of them are still in progress out of the 36, which means 14 of them are closed. As of July of 2024, the code compliance rate is 97.39%. Of that, 522 are in compliance and 14 are not. Do we have an update on those 14? Are they still?
I do not have that.
Okay. And a report?
Thank you. Fire and Health, Mrs. Onan.
The fire department will be participating in Lookout Fire Company of Penargel's annual Labor Day Parade on September 2nd and Lee Heighton's 150th anniversary parade on September 28th. For the first meeting in September, there will be an agenda item on financing a 2026 Pierce Rescue truck. This was the truck that was approved for purchase in March of 2023. End of report.
Thank you. Public Works and Sewer, Mr. Glassick.
Thank you. 2 sewer plant employees will be attending the free weekly training in Harrisburg beginning on August 20th in part of their training to become certified wastewater operators. There will be a project kickoff meeting for the 21st Street Pump Station on August 15th at 9 a.m., which should have been done this morning. Was it done?
Yes.
Thank you. A few of the Public Works summer employees will be done for the season this week. A huge thank you for all their work and hard efforts during the summer's work. So thank you. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, sir. Unfinished business, we have none. Under new business, adoption of ordinance number 1235.
Adoption of ordinance number 1235 will create 1 hour parking zone and amending the loading zone hours of the 1200 block of Main Street.
What is the opinion of council? Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Ms. Haldeman,
Second.
by Mr. Glassick. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Adoption of resolution number 9-2024, winter maintenance service agreement.
In the past, PennDOT used to just send us an ACH to our bank account where they gave us a certain amount of money to take care of the state roads that are located within the borough of Northampton, namely Route 329, Main Street north of 21st Street to the borough boundary, and Cherryville Road from Main Street to the borough boundary. This year, they are requiring a resolution. So we have to sign this resolution to meet the needs of PennDOT, designating the borough as responsible for winter, salting, plowing on those streets. Something new.
What is the opinion of council? Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Stone, second.
Second.
Mr. Donahue, any questions?
Question about the ACH. Are they asking for money that they're gonna send us, or are they gonna send us equipment? Or are
No,
they
they're gonna
bill
send us money.
Okay, that's a nice thing.
It's,
Do you have any idea what it is?
sure. Let's see, $5,027.10.
And they wants to went off the Farmer's Almanac?
I don't know.
Well, thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Consider the request to attend police training class.
Chief Kadingo is requesting that Detective Matthew Benikoff attend a training class for wiretap certification. This will be held at the State Police Academy in Hershey, PA from September 9th through September 13th. The cost is $500.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Uh-oh. I don't want to get in trouble this week. Who had it? Ms. Almond. Do I have a second?
I'll second it now.
By Mr. Donahue. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Consider the request of Police Chief Bryan Kadingo.
Police Chief Bryan Kadingo is requesting to sell the 2011 Crown Victoria to Crown Victoria Police Cruiser for $1 to the Copley Fire Department. This car has been replaced by one of the 3 new police vehicles, and it's in rough shape. Is that a best way to describe it, Chief?
They're not allowed to give it back, no matter what.
No, we don't want it.
What is the opinion of council?
I'll make a motion.
By Mr.
Second.
Donahue, do I have a second?
Second.
By Mr. Hall? Any questions?
I have questions, but I have a comment. If you read the follow-up to it, it's to commend Officer Britt
Yes.
for going after grants that got us, what, $80,000 to be able to purchase new vehicles. So the training we sent our officers to learn how to go after grants obviously was a good spending of our money. And again, thank you to Officer Britt. Please thank him for all of us, I'm sure, because that's commendable. And so what a nice gesture to help out another department. That's it.
Just a comment also, is I was actually gonna say I was against this because we could sell it for scrap money and get something for it, but when I seen the letter, what he did for 80,000, plus he's the fire chief over there, he works for our police department, kudos to him, so I'm glad you put this letter in there, because I didn't wanna stand up here and say, no, we have to get it for scrap metal, and then he did all that stuff for us, so he did a great job.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Consider request for traffic study.
We have received a request from a resident of 1766 Main Street to make Richard Paul Street one-way from Main Street to Franklin Street. The resident's request and sketch of the area is included in your packet. I would suggest that we give this to the chief to do a study, and we'll get it on the next agenda dependent on his recommendation.
I would, as some of you may or may not be aware, a lot of your traffic studies are based initially upon accident data at that, at any location, which there is minimal to none. Or some, circumstances where safety of the public is apparently visible when you get there. I am not aware of what was in the letter as far as concerns stated by Ms. Namas, but, with all due respect, this may be better in the purview of the engineer, do an engineering study, because I'll do the study, but I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, there's, an manpower requirement to sit there, because there's certain times of day where it's not traveled much. I'll do what council wishes, but maybe there is something that the engineer's aware of that would, obviously address the concerns from the complainant.
Okay, so do I have a motion?
We will follow the directive of council. If you want engineer to do it, so be it.
I make a motion that we
No,
start
ma'am.
with the police chief to at least to take a look at it, just to look at it, and then give us your results of accidents and results of speeding things and things like that. Yeah, it would be more than just sitting there, because you obviously know that there's not, but I wanna see at least what they were over a period of time.
So you want to go with the police chief first?
Well, just on a basic overview of like accidents, speeding violations, things that were complaints in that area, so that we have that for some basis before we just jump to sending it to an engineer.
I agree, Mr. Glass.
I'll second it.
Pardon?
That was a motion, right?
Yes.
I second it.
Okay, motion made to have the police chief look at that area. Second by Mrs. Arman. Do I have any other questions?
I do, so I just want to make sure, so we're looking for the chief to provide us with just clarity of what's happened so far?
Yes.
Okay, we're not putting personnel out there at this point to
No,
monitor,
exactly.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you,
You
that
have a
was just
copy
my
of her
question.
letter?
I do not.
No, ma'am, no.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The police chief will be studying that area. He will talk to you.
I can tell you, I have never witnessed an accident. I have witnessed many near accidents.
Okay,
And that, I can tell
Okay.
you, yeah.
thank you, ma'am. Consider the approval of environmental planning and design services for the River Central Plan.
A proposal has been presented to us from Environmental Planning and Design. This would allow all 5 municipalities to use their service for implementation of the River Central Comprehensive Plan. Northampton Borough's cost would be $54,700.57. The proposal and services are included in your packet.
What is the opinion of council?
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Ms. Haldeman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Who was that down there? Mr. Knopf? Questions?
I have a question. This was the first that came in our package. I know this was some things that people went to meetings and things like that, but I really didn't get a chance, or did anybody get a chance to review this, to really be voting on it, to pass it through? Is it needed to get a grant, or is it needed to be something that they're saying they want it ahead of time?
No, this would be our portion to implement moving forward.
Could we at least table this? I'm requesting that we table this to at least give us a month to look at it, or to the next meeting at least, or is there something that we're gonna miss out on if we don't
Can-
go through it? Because I know it's an in-depth study.
Yes,
Go ahead,
Judy.
Ms. Haldeman.
So, again, I don't step on your toes there, Leroy. I actually went to the meeting with Bryan and Leroy out at East Allen Township to meet this company, this organization that is at the next step of what I understand to be the River Central Plan. So when we agreed to participate with 4 other municipalities and communities to form River Central, I was not a part of that. I believe the mayor was on that committee, but I took a little bit of an interest in it. Unfortunately, the meetings run at a time when you and I are involved in another meeting. But anyway, having gone to this, the woman came and answered a great deal of questions and explained that this is what their company will do, will help us along with those 4 other committees or communities kind of assimilate our community planning. So what land should be used for? It's gonna address saldo, it's gonna address zoning, it's gonna address all land usage. They're gonna do a new map, something that Northampton has not had for quite some time. I forget Leroy, to help me out with it, please, the type of the map that it is.
Well, this sheet was sent to council on July 11th.
Yeah, it was in our one.
Yes,
Right.
I've seen
We
that.
pay a per capita amount.
Yep.
And this, like you just said, this has been ongoing for over
It's been
2
going
years.
for a while, but I mean, I never got a final result like this to
So
really
this
dissect.
process now is almost just starting. Now that they've formulated the plan for River Central, now the plan is how they're going to use all these communities' land. So when you form a community, I also learned this because I took a course, and I don't want to take up too much time, but every community has to have so much land designated for different kinds of usage. So by joining these communities, it allows all those communities to take on the usages of the land. For an example, the dreaded word warehouse. So of all those municipalities now, somebody may say, okay, I have the land, I'm gonna take on that, but you have to take on a town dump. You have to take, so this woman, this is gonna be a very timely process. It's going to go on for a long time, and it is going to be very work intensive, a lot of meetings. I think we sat there for about what, Leroy, about?
Hour and a half.
Leroy was clicking his pen after the first 5 minutes. But yeah, I think that we need to participate. I mean, I have not met any other organizations, but this woman, this is what they do. They bring on these individuals. I don't know why we're paying the biggest cost. Is it because of the land use that
no,
we are
we
the
have the
largest
most- we have the
community?
bigger, yeah.
We have the
That's
biggest
by
area.
people.
So you're paying about,
Almost
okay.
by double.
So-
Okay.
Comparison.
I don't think we would be harmed in any way by holding off until the next council.
To review it.
If you would like that time to look this all over.
No, it's not something
But
I'm
we
gonna
are
stop
kinda at a
progress.
point where we're committed to this.
Well, then I'm fine. I'm not gonna stop progress. I mean, I think we moved along, and you gave a great explanation of what it is, more detail of it. Because I didn't have the time to look at any of this going on, and I didn't attend any meetings, so
I just
shame
don't
on
want
me,
to,
but there's a lot, only 24 hours in a day, but, I'm glad you had that insight and direction, and I'm fine with it. I'll retract my suggestion to table this. I mean, let's move forward with it.
Can I just ask, what encompasses that $54,700?
I wanted that, is that,
Like, if it's just in planning, where did they come up with that number?
is that every so
If I
many years?
may, I would direct you to pages 16 and 17 of the packet. which are the cost estimate sheets. This is the work of the River Central plan. This is the meat, and it is a zoning audit, and then amendments, and really reworking everybody's zoning ordinances so that, as Councilwoman Haldeman said, that uses are provided for but allocated throughout all of the municipalities that are participating, and it is charged at a per capita cost share of a rate of $5.2622, well, $5.2622. So based on population, we do have the largest share. But this is really the work of the project that we have signed on to, we have agreed to, and, you know, really in the long run, should be very beneficial to the borough. If anybody has any legal questions, I'm happy to answer them.
No, thank you for that clarity too, and again, I don't wanna question the, you know, tabling this, it shouldn't need to be.
Question I did really have now, that 54,000. Now, we're X number of years into it, and we're committed, and we're doing that, and we're 3-4 years into it. Is that a certain phase? Are we gonna see in another 3-4 years, or is that the division of the total cost?
The whole idea of the River Central comprehensive plan was to take the 5 participating communities and not provide everyone with the same zoning code or the same planning code, but to customize it so that they were somewhat similar. And that's what these people will do.
I've gone through the comprehensive, you know, you said, you know, it's a grueling, with, you know, just whatever time we effect to do it, to have them do it.
Well,
But I'm
imagine
saying,
doing
is
that with 5 communities.
Right, but I'm just saying, is that a number phase, so 5 years from now you're gonna see it again, or is that?
No, this-
That was just my question.
Once and done. You
Once
wanna
and
know.
done.
This originally was
Yeah.
prepared on June 19th. Brian, when was this sent out?
July 11th.
This plan,
To council or to us?
to us or to council?
I sent it to council on July 11th.
Okay.
So we
Any
have a
other
motion.
questions? Okay, the motion is by Ms. Haldeman, second by Mr. Knopf. All the questions answered, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Consider the request to hold a shredding event.
Okey dokey. At the July 18th meeting, the annual shredding event at the community center parking lot was approved for April 19th. However, it has come to light that this is the day before Easter. That being said, they would like to change the date from April 19th to April 26th. This is the one that is sponsored by Representative Zach Mako. I've already checked with the people at the community center, and the parking lot will be available.
What is the opinion of council?
I make a motion to honor that request to change the date from the 19th to the 26th.
Motion made by Ms. Solomon, second
Second.
by Mr. Knopf. Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Consider request for bid proposals for Barrington Drive repaving project.
At the last council meeting, it was suggested that perhaps we would want to consider having an outside firm pave Barrington Drive in the area from 1325 to 1338. This, accepting this would allow the borough to prepare and advertise bid proposals to complete that job.
I make a motion that we move forward with getting bids.
Motion made by Mr. Glassick. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Mr. Stone. Any questions?
Question. On Barrington Drive, are they gonna mill it first and then pave it, or are they overlaying it?
The first thing we're gonna have to do is go up there and do a test dig. and I know what we're going to find, so when we prepare the bid specifications, it's going to have to address. It's not gonna be as simple as milling it and overlaying it. We're gonna have to reconstruct it.
Okay.
There's moon dirt underneath it.
Any other
That's what I was
questions?
told it is.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to reports from council members, starting with Mr. Cano.
Oh, at the last meeting, I asked Leroy about if he found the sign for children at play with the football practice going on, 13th and 14th of Canal.
Mm-hmm.
Have you looked into that?
Yes, I did. It's, you know, to order those things, they don't just,
Oh, okay,
yeah, we get them from Miller Municipal Supply.
okay. And Mr. Kadingo, any reports from people in the borough about erratic bike
Yes.
problems?
Group of 6 of them? Yeah, we're aware of them, absolutely.
I still think it'd be a good policy for the borough to bring bike safety back. And for you, Tony, I kind of see what you're seeing. I see it also with the e-bikes. So maybe we could have a remedy situation done at the pad. Yes. Okay, end of the report.
Thank you, Mr. Now, Mr. Glassick.
Well, I don't wanna take anybody's thunder. I didn't know which side you were gonna start on, and obviously, I wanna, offer to Leroy the start of many, I'm sure, but, if we wanna wait to the end, but I wanna just offer my sincerest thank you for your years of service, your dedicated knowledge, your passion, which is definitely evident on even at council meetings. You know, sometimes the refrain is even stronger than I could be. So, your dedication for that, your family commitment to, because your family is here to support you a lot of times, and I think that's just a show of our community as a whole. You will be missed dearly, but I wanna thank you for your years of dedication, for your education to me, only being a newbie, I guess, on Borough Council in the last 3 or 4 years. But I wish you the very best and many, many years of retirement too.
Thank you.
So, thank you. Now I have some other stuff though, so.
Go ahead.
Hold your retain.
Oh, that's for later, huh?
That's for later.
Don't forget these.
The gas pumps, I hear they're not working and we're doing donation requests, or what's the status of these
The
gas
gas
pumps?
pumps, someone from the, one of the outlying users had trouble getting diesel fuel, and it was found that as soon as our people went there with a diesel key, it was working.
Okay.
Because I was called on my, I was halfway up to Mount Airy on Monday, and that's when Bryan called. I came, and when I got back, I came and I stopped in, and by that time, everything was working.
Okay.
It was
So
just a glitch.
Does the gas pumps need to be replaced?
Yes,
Okay.
desperately.
Welcome, Bryan. So there'll be another thing for you. We talked about Parks Plan for September, to start talking about funding and getting together in September. So I would like to say, whoever's in the Park and Recs Committee, that we can start talking about that in September. So the next year, we can talk really about having, what we're doing for it, instead of just talking about the problems that we have at it. So that's just on my notes. There's also an exchange of service that we do with the MBMA, which is the Northampton Borough Municipal Authority, the water and sewer, the water actually. And I guess they sent a bill and we didn't hear anything about it, so sitting on that board, we get a double-edged sword.
If I may explain.
Yes, please.
Every year, they send one at the halfway point.
Okay,
We do not pay that. We wait until the end of the year, because sometimes by the end of the year, it switches back.
I get it.
Last year, I think we paid them $6,000, and it was, in the middle of the year, it was around 15.
Okay.
So we would've gave them $9,000 to play with for 5 months that we could use.
I agree with that. It's all our borough, but just let somebody communicate that to them, that we're gonna plan on rolling it over to the
They
end.
know how I'll tell them.
Listen, I sit on both, as Ms. Haldeman
I'll
sits on
tell
both.
them tomorrow at the
Okay.
clam bake.
All right, that's a great subject to bring up there.
That's right. How you
Um,
doing?
thank you for the detail about the ordinance and the piece of good of order. I think the solicitor will give us a lot of insight on that, and thank you, Mr. Stone, for your looking into it too. Mayor, great idea about the murals. I thought there was some boroughs that I went through, and I traveled through Pennsylvania and New Jersey, and I see a lot of towns that have the nice paintings on the walls. I think if it's done properly, it can really add value and mystique to our area for the heritage that we have and the cement companies and things like that. So that was a great idea, and
Thank you.
look forward to hearing more about it. So whoever pushed on the electronic recycling, thank you, Lord, because I must have asked for this about how many years. Brian, you're really making waves right away. You're moving that ladder way up there, so, you're
not
getting to the
even
top
gonna miss
quickly. I
me.
like that. I know there's gonna be a cost. We understand that, but people have asked for electronic recycling, and I thank you for taking that initiative right away and getting something on the books. So, other than that, I also want to thank the borough for moving forward with Barrington and voting that we at least go outside bids, because I really truly believe it's too big of a project to tie up all of our public works, which, there's a lot of reasons why we can't just tie them up for that kind of time to fix that. So, that's the end of my report, and again, Leroy, there'll be many thank yous and congratulations to you. That's it.
Mr. Donahue?
Oh,
Thank you, Mr. Glassick.
Leroy, is it possible you have the lines repainted under the underpass on Law out there?
Yes.
And speaking about underpass, is it possible we get yield signs there to slow people down, or do we need an ordinance for yield signs? Oh, no, stop signs, we need an ordinance. Because if they're
Underpass
coming
lines.
under the underpass going east to west, and you're trying to pull up in Newport, you're taking your life in your hands sometimes.
We're going to be replacing or lining that sewer line next week, so some of
Oh,
that
okay.
road will be closed off for a bit.
Okay,
Maybe we can take a look at,
good, the traffic will slow down there. Thank you very much.
yeah, it'll stop.
And as for you, thank you for your 50-plus years of dedication to the borough. I don't know who the next closest person in the line to you would be here in the borough currently, but good luck trying to get to what you have. And I know you'll be resting easy every 2 weeks, and Ron will bug you with the bills then.
Well, I won't come right away, but I will come. I'm gonna sit in the back corner there where the chief sits. I'm gonna get here before he does.
So, thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
End of my report.
Thank you. Mrs. Almond?
Thank you. Chief Kadingo, I'm happy to hear that you are aware of those 6 to 10 bikers. They are on Main Street going against the traffic, into the traffic. I am just waiting for one of the Atlanta buses to either hit them or, it is terrible. So before any accidents happen, I'm glad you're aware. And then regarding the electric bikes, are they legal on the road? Because those are also riding up and down Main
Yes,
Street.
we unfortunately are running across the laws haven't caught up with technology. As former Councilman Lozanski stated, it probably would be smart to err on the side of being proactive about it for the trail. As far as on the roadways, that would be great. We depend on, they still have to obey the traffic laws though,
Okay,
that they do. It's still considered vehicle on the streets.
all right, thank you. And Mr. Mayor, would you be able to enlighten council with some of the locations that you were planning for these murals to go?
Right now, I'll just mention the Roxy, and we're looking at other locations that are still in flux as to where they're going to be, but they will be very prominent and easy to find around town.
Thank you. End of my report. Oh, thank you, Leroy,
Welcome.
for your service and dedication and loyalty and love for this borough. And we love you too. We're gonna miss you.
Maybe. I've been with him since I'm about 25 years old.
I'm sincere, Leroy. I'm sincere.
I don't know, she drives me crazy.
Happy retirement. You deserve it. Well deserved. End of report.
Nathan?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to say, over the summer, I've been interning at the borough office in order to get a glimpse into what these workers face and what it takes to keep our borough running daily. And I just wanted to say, how incredibly grateful I am for our workers. They do an excellent job there, and I'm really thankful that they took me in and showed me what it really means to be a borough employee. And I'd also just like to say thank you, Leroy, for your service here. It's gonna be very different without you.
Yeah, it'll be more like a workplace.
Did you leave my office unlocked again?
I wasn't in today.
Oh,
They knew you were coming, so
Did
they
they?
baked the cake.
they did? Okay. We'll miss you, Mason. Because you're
Well,
going
he's
off to
still
school.
gonna be
No,
here.
he's going to school.
No, he's going to be a senior
I'm a
next.
senior.
I keep thinking he's graduating.
Let's not push it.
He's an old soul.
mother
I
isn't
keep
ready
thinking
to
he's
say goodbye.
graduating. Ms. Holland,
Okay, so let me go through my little things I brought the wrong tablet, so Leroy, I'm gonna ask you to help jump in. I'm gonna speak quickly to that park, to the meeting with Cindy Miles, and just say that it seems to be a very organized, impressive, right now, it's a daughter and her dad who are representing their mother who passed away, who I actually had the privilege of working with for years. Did not know that, but Cindy was a physical therapist who worked with children and had her own private business. She also worked for some agencies, and I believe she actually sold her business to St. Luke's, but I don't want to misspeak there. Anyway, Cindy passed away. And her family wanted to remember her, and so Cindy believed in activity and movement, but for everyone. And so they want to have a park that is accessible to all. They are very motivated to do this. They are very organized. They're actually going to come to council the next meeting. Did we agree, right?
Yes.
And they're going to bring you some pictures of what it could look like. They are looking for grants, they're looking for some partnerships, but again, they're doing a lot of this themselves. They're tied to a community a community program that kind of supports people accessing funding and grants and things like that, but they're actually looking into some other things too. I think they're looking for us and our borough businesses to potentially support this with some money to help defray the costs, of which it can be very, very expensive as we learned, but we in the borough here would help them. Our public works could potentially be the people that would actually be able to put the equipment together. We've identified, or Leroy's and Bryan have identified 4th Street Park, which for the public, that is probably one of our least used parks, one of our oldest parks in terms of equipment. And this would really be ideal, but it's obviously cost prohibitive, and hopefully we can generate some interest. They're actually going to be at the street fair. I think Leroy encouraged that. So they're going to, be showing the public what they can access. And, so this is for, obviously for Northampton, would certainly benefit from this, but it also would bring people in from everywhere to, again, allow children to have this wonderful park where the slides are larger, it's going to be wheelchair accessible. It just, it kind of speaks to me too. It just really seemed like a really great opportunity. So hopefully we can consider that and move forward with that in the future. I'm going to tie that to my disappointment in our parks and the fact that we have a bill that we're facing, and we are going to pay for over $5,000 for a piece of equipment that was actually handicapped accessible here at Municipal Park. And I don't want to sit here and say anything negative about our youth and our town, because I love this town as much as everybody who sits on here, but I'd like to speak to the parents out there to say, if your kids come home and they're chuckling about how they were having some fun at the park, maybe pay attention, because nobody's going to come knocking at your door and ask for $5,000, but you as residents of town are going to pay for this one way or another. So I'd really like to ask that we ask our kids to be aware of what they're doing, jump in on a piece of equipment to the point that they broke it. It's just making me sad. What are we doing here? It's a park. It's a place to play. When we all grew up, we all played. We didn't trash stuff. We have broken so many things in this town. We've trashed the bathrooms. Yet people calling me, they spray painted things on the equipment, language that kids don't need to see. So that's just disappointing, but yet we have this organization that wants to give us a lot of money and a lot of support, and I would like to believe that if we are more aware of what's happening at our parks, that that park won't be destroyed for not only, again, our kids. This is not just for children that have a disability, but it's gonna allow those children to be able to interact with typical children and have fun. And that's what you're supposed to be when you're a kid, having fun. So I apologize if I get a little, but it bothers me. $6,000 for a piece of equipment to be destroyed is just disappointing to me. So that's my little tirade today. I do want to ask Leroy, because again, a business owner asked me about that, the painting, and I always think at this 21st and Center, so coming out of where the laundromat is, Center Street. Could we get those lines painted there?
At 21st and Center.
Yeah, so like when you're in there should be 2 defined lanes, one to turn right, or obviously 1 to turn left. So if we could get those painted, somebody's asked me that a couple times with business owners in that area. I actually also wanted to ask you, did we ever resend that letter to the pallet company? I forget what their...
4840?
Yeah, 4840, about the truck traffic there.
Yeah, but it fell on deaf ears, I
again.
believe.
Okay, so that's just something, again, moving forward, we might have to look at too in terms of traffic patterns there, but I know that's a costly thing to ask the engineers to do a traffic study. So I wanted to, again, say thank you to Joe Britt. I want to say thank you to our pool staff. I think we had, Leroy, don't look at me right now, a very successful year. I don't think we had a lot of complaints. I'm making that, though. We're going to put a big sign up there, Leroy's Pool. But you know, I think those kids did a great job. I think that your grandson and everybody up there, Olivia Sensitz as our pool manager, they deserve our thanks because they kept everybody safe and happy for another summer. And again, I didn't want to spout off about River Central. It just happened to be an interesting meeting. Somebody actually probably should represent the borough on that moving forward. Again, for quite a time commitment. I believe they want 3 people, so maybe Brian's going to be knocking at somebody's door. So there's that. And Leroy the legend, I will get choked up too. You know, I want to thank you for the graciousness you've shown me with asking you about 9,000 questions and just dropping by. And I don't make that mistake anymore because he yelled at me.
I didn't yell at you.
He said, "Not today," and shut the door.
Oh, that time.
That time. But
I'm sorry, I apologize.
You don't have to apologize. I deserved it. I showed up unannounced. I too, I'm fascinated by 58 years. I admire you tremendously. I think you are a wealth of knowledge. I will miss you. I will miss your clicking pen. I will miss your face getting red and knowing that you are angry and we should all shut up and go home. And I hope that I can stop by that porch, and while I won't smoke a cigar, I might imbibe a little bit.
All right, come on down.
I will miss you, Leroy. Best wishes for a long, long and happy life.
Thank you.
End of my
Thank you. Mr. Stone?
Thank you for your report. Hard to follow. Mine's going to be much more boring than that, for sure. And I share your sentiment about the parks. I mean, it's a shame. Real quick, Northampton Borough Police Department monthly report for July: 633 dispatches, 149 incident reports filed, and 11 accident investigations completed. Leroy, what else is there to say, but that already hasn't been said? You will be missed. We do appreciate all the years of service and dedication to this borough. And you know, Brian's got some big shoes to fill. But enjoy your retirement.
Thank you.
And I appreciate the fact that you're willing to have an open door policy and help out, but don't even look back, man. It's just retire right off into the sunset and don't look back.
If he's
But
bored, he
anyway.
can paint the lines for Judy up there at the one street.
Yeah. While
We'll
I'm
provide a
riding by, I'll
paintbrush
just
for
drag
you.
a paintbrush
Just drag a
across.
paintbrush.
There we go. All done.
Anyway, enjoy your retirement, Leroy. Thank you for everything you've done,
Thank you.
honestly. End of report.
Okay, well, it's all been
Wrap it
pretty,
up.
it's all been pretty much said.
We didn't need much for you.
Big, yeah, didn't leave a lot, but congratulations, Leroy, and good luck, everything else. I do have one thing to add, and then she wouldn't have had this on the fire report too. There's a fire police, I didn't get a fire police report. The one who did that has resigned, so I'm just gonna, that'll start coming along. We're working a new format for getting that up and taken care of. Truck 4249, I spoke with Navi, we've been in thing, it should be, everybody knows it's away now for the last 2 weeks, being worked on and getting with its mishap. They said they expected it to be done by tomorrow. We didn't get any phone calls, but I may have to go out tomorrow, inspect it, do whatever they're gonna do. I don't know what was in on the estimate for whatever for re-lettering it and stuff, cause it took 2 new doors and it took, you know, enough that it's gonna have to be, the one side's gonna have to. So, I don't know what's in on that, we'll have to sit back and look or whatever, but I'm just looking to get it back on the road and get the equipment out of our office down there, cause don't go by, if you go by, don't look in that door because it's a mess. Everything that was in the truck is now on the floor, so, but, it's getting, I'm just glad to hear that it's close to being done, and hopefully it will be done. And that's all I really have in the report.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, do you have anything else to say?
Not right now.
Thank you. Well, I can't get rid of him.
Solicitor.
Oh, the solicitor, well, she had her report. Attorney Stewart.
That's all right, it'll be very quick. I just have to say, Leroy, you might be one of my favorite people, not just in the borough, not just among clients, but one of my favorite people in the world to call on the cell phone. Because your hello is delightful. And, I had such a short time to work closely with you, and, so I'm a little sad for myself, but so happy for you, and may you have many long years of just enjoyable delight and relaxation in retirement.
Well,
End of report.
Thank you.
Well, I had another report to say. Oh, good Lord, I can't shake you loose for nothing. He's been in my life since I'm 26 years old. So I think I heard.
You a lucky person.
I think I heard this, that you would be bagpiping with Gene. His friend is my husband, Gene.
I bagpipe before I go kayaking.
Oh, he said you were gonna kayak.
No, I'm not kayak. I'll send my son, he kayaks, I don't.
Oh, Lord. Really?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna tell you I'm gonna miss you, cause I'll miss you on the job, but I know you're gonna be in my life forever.
I'll be around.
You're gonna be in my life forever. He and Gene used to sing when they were young
Drunk.
men.
I mean,
They sang in churches, they sang many, many places in the borough. And,
don't get me started.
yeah, he could really go. But in the meantime, Leroy, council has given me this to give to you now. I don't know what it is, but by the feel of it,
It's a
Judy
brick.
Haldeman might want to sit with you on the porch, but that's just what I'm saying.
Maybe all of us will.
Nah, I'm Baptist, sometimes
Big
we're
porch.
Presbyterians, but I'm we don't drink. So, this is our gift to you, Mr. Brooks. And
Whoa,
Leroy,
stand by, stand by.
Leroy, I will miss you,
Cement bag.
my buddy.
Thank you all very much. You may be seated.
Speak.
And Leroy, stay
Should I open this?
One more thing. Mike standing for this?
Oh.
We go back to 2001 when I became Chamber of Commerce president. He was sitting at Megan's desk
Yep,
and following Dean Zoreko around.
yeah, like a puppy dog.
Like a puppy dog, but you have left an indelible mark upon Northampton with your service, your family, and everything you've done. This proclamation to you, presented to Leroy Probst in recognition of your service to the Borough of Northampton. Whereby I, as mayor, along with Borough Council and the citizens of the Borough of Northampton, wholeheartedly recognize and thank you for your 57 years as a Borough of Northampton employee, lastly as our Borough Manager. Your contributions in each position you've held throughout those 57 years has undoubtedly contributed to building a better Northampton. Therefore, I, as mayor, proclaim Friday, August 16th through Saturday, August 31st as Leroy Probst Days in the Borough of Northampton, wishing you in your life's retirement, good health, and happiness in the future.
That's a lot of partying there. Well, I guess I can park on Main Street without.
I have an extra one for your windshield.
Oh,
Am I done now?
no, you gotta do your announcements.
Announcements.
Okay. I could sit?
Oh, yeah, go
Okay.
ahead. This won't take long. I'm gonna go home and watch the Little League World Series.
Okay.
I don't know where to begin, but I know where to end. Working for the Borough of Northampton has been a joy and a journey. I always wondered when the journey would come to a close, and I do not feel that it has closed. I only feel that the journey is going now in a different direction. I have no intention of moving to Florida with my daughter. I'm not gonna live in a little cubbyhole in the backyard with my son. I'm gonna stay right at 17th and Lincoln where I belong, where I have an attic in the winter and a front porch in the summer, and neighbors who drive me crazy.
That's right,
But it's what I'm accustomed to.
that's right.
So, I wanna, everybody's been thanking me, but I wanna thank not just the people here, but the entire community. I was born in this community. I will die in this community. It's been a good life. I hope I extend it a little bit.
Okay, not anytime soon, Leroy.
But when my time comes, I know my wife will be waiting for me, and she'll have a cup of coffee and I hope a good cigar. But I did tell her I wanted waffles too. So, thank you. Wait a second there. There's something else in here too.
Hopefully shot glasses.
Terramana. See, I have a weakness for tequila too, not just bourbon.
Oh,
But-
my.
Thank you.
We'll be on your porch tomorrow night.
I'll be there.
He'll still be
Oh,
sleeping.
no, I'll be left over from clam bake.
Leroy, there's one in the car.
In a car. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Oh dear God, it's not as bad as the one he showed me yesterday.
Civilized. What do you think? I'm a barbarian? You shoot a thing open?
See what I mean? Now, I'm sorry, Probst kids, I'm sorry. What?
Your retirement is bittersweet to those who've been lucky to work with you, exciting for those who spend more time with now, you look out, and most of all, wonderful for you. Thank you for your years of service and dedication to the Borough, Northampton Borough Council. What's this? The piece de resistance, a gift card to Cigars International.
All right.
We
Thank
hope
you.
you have a longer life, but we're giving you alcohol and
seriously.
cigars.
What? What does that,
Sorry if we, we
what
don't
does
have.
that say for me?
All of his thank you cards are gonna say the same thing. Thank you for the cigars and,
Well, thank you all.
you won't need a letter opening.
You know,
What?
Gene has one of those vests if you fall out of a kayak.
I'm not going in a kayak. Forget it. Okay.
Okay, here's
How about we
the
pay the bills?
What, is that your all your announcements?
That was it. I wanna leave the stage open for my, the guy's coming after me.
You forgot you already.
Yeah, who is that? Barry Wacko.
I'll call you Joe. Okay.
Okay. I gotta get my sheet.
Can I get a motion to pay the bills?
Make a motion.
Go ahead.
Motion by Glassick, second by Knupp. Any questions?
You're welcome, Leroy. No questions tonight.
God bless you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, I need a motion
Motion.
to adjourn the meeting by Donahue,
Second.
second by Hall. Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Hey, Leroy,
Hey, what?
you can sing with We Foggy Dogs.
No,